Hello, Johnny London here, once again. And I'm trying to do something about making these joists a little more resilient to the damp with the aid of this self-adhesive foil. I'm trying to keep it straight. Well, as you can see there, I improved my technique for the second pair, didn't I? Only thing is the woods are a little bit bowed, so didn't quite go perfectly, but hopefully the idea is just to keep a little bit of moisture from the ground from penetrating underneath the wood. That's why I haven't completely wrapped it or anything, because if you try doing that, I'm sure moisture will still get in and then it will just hold the moisture. I want them to breathe, but just not sort of soak up from the ground. Well, I've just laid everything out to have a little look and see if it all still fits and how it's going to go, and it's mostly okay. A couple of problems: the joists are a little bit curved, so I'll have to sort of push them around a bit as I screw things together. And the other problem is that long bit of wood that I had to cut the end off. Well, looks like I'm going to have to do it again. It needs another centimetre off of it. How did that happen? I'd get a few fixings in. Then check my progress. I'm doing the old diagonal measurements. I've got 245.2 this way and 245.4 the other way, and that is going to do me. Right, I've just centralised the two middle supporting beams. I'm going to put a screw in at one end and I'll check their position at the other end, and then I can just go all the way down and fix those. Got to take another little bit off this, about a centimetre. I know what's happened there actually. I calculated it based on the width of the woods, but of course when I put them all together, because they're all old and slightly bent and one thing and another, there's probably, there's 14 of them, there's probably less than a millimetre gap between some of them, and that just adds up, and there's a little bit of discrepancy at the end. I was a bit concerned actually that they might expand or shrink depending of course on whether they're very dry or very wet. I don't really know how that's going to pan out. If they shrink, and in any case I may put caulking in between the joins, and of course if they expand, well, hopefully everything will all expand and contract together, but of course that remains to be seen. But for now, let's crack on with this. As easy as that. And on he goes. Now that the base is all built, I can start to tackle the other panels before putting everything back together. This one's nearly all right, but not quite. Yeah, let's get this bit changed. Well, this bit's all got to be rebuilt, so use that. Right, so what I've decided to do, rather than replacing the whole flat bottom section of that piece of wood, it's only the corner that's rotten, I've got an offcut from another bit that needs replacing anyway. This bit's perfectly good, so I'm going to sort of just join that in, and then by the time I put the sort of new battening behind it, it'll be more or less as good as new. So that bit can go in there like that. That bit can go in there like that. And that bit can go in there like that. That'll do it. Now, that arguably is not my finest moment. It's a bit of a bodge, but I'll caulk it up and paint it, and it should be okay. Now to tackle this panel. Well, definitely a bit of a disappointment with what I thought was the good side. It's not quite as good as I thought, is it? Lost the bottom couple of bits off of that, so I'm going to replace it with the different wood. I'm just trying to work out how to, I think with this one, if I cut the sort of back part of the groove off, I can then get them to join up. So, I mean, it look a bit weird, but you know, it's the best I can do. It's going to work. I have to say, it is quite a bitty process now, fiddling with different batons and bits of thing, but it's coming together, actually, it is. That's the rear panel and the good side almost repaired. That end bit here, I've got to change that out, so bottom of it's not very good. That's another panel repaired. I've just got the very end batten to change, but I'm going to do that another day because I'm losing the light now and it's a bit fiddly to do without messing everything up. I've got quite a bit of packing up ahead of me, and there's a couple of beers and chicken biryani indoors waiting for me, so I think that's where I'll head. See you next time.